Grundon coming to you live on Friday night, talking more about the art of self-love and you matter. I've been getting a lot of engagement. I've been getting a lot of personal messages, and there's one in particular that I'd like to address right now. And I wrote this down, so let me just read it really quickly. And it said, Lisa, the real me is dead, which is a pity because he was such a nice guy. But he could not handle some of the bad things in his life. The man I am today is just a ghost of who I once was. And I want to talk about that. I want to talk about when life gets so tough that it just, it just gets so hard. It gets so hard to live. You may think that I've had a pretty easy life because I'm very optimistic. I have a very upbeat nature. That was my natural. That is my natural nature. And don't get me wrong, there were people that tried to crush that out of me. They licked their thumb and they tried to do this, and for a while they succeeded. For a while there I was down there in the ground. So let me tell you, I know I've had more than one dark night of the soul when I couldn't find a single reason for living except the dog that I had at the time. Her name was Brownie. Brownie baby is what I called her. And I cried more tears into the coat of that dog than I've ever cried anywhere. And she was my best friend, my confidant. She was a dog. And when I couldn't find the reason for living within myself, I found the reason for living with her. And someone that was, I thought, a very good friend of mine said, that's pathetic. If that's the only reason that you can find for living, I think that's terrible. Can you imagine bearing your soul to someone that you think is a friend and having them tell you that you're wrong? And I've already chatted, I've been chatting with this guy who wrote this note, and I want to liken it to something else, because self-hatred, and that's what it is. Don't let's not mess around with it. It is self-hatred is what it is. Those are the words, and it just strikes me right here, because man, I've been there, and it's painful in some ways to see others go through it, and in some ways I also understand. And so it's really difficult to go from self-hatred to so excited about everything. And I tried to do that for a really long time, because remember, my natural nature is upbeat, excited, optimistic. And people tried to squash that out of me too, because I was too loud, my hair was too red, my hair is too curly, I make too much noise, I get too excited about nothing. There's a man named Carroll O'Connor. He was Carroll O'Connor. He was a very famous actor once upon a time, and depending upon how old some of my audience is here, you may not know him. However, he was Archie Bunker in All in the Family, in Archie's Place. He also later on was he in that TV show called In the Heat of the Night? I think he was in that show too. And anyway, he had a son who died of drug abuse. And drug abuse, when it goes that far, his son was just too depressed, and he took his own life. Not through the drugs, he took his own life with a shotgun, because he couldn't find anything to live for in himself. The self-hatred, the emptiness was that strong. And Carroll O'Connor, he went after the drug dealer, he went after everybody. And he said to the world, you get between your kid and drugs in any way you can. And what I'm saying is, you get between yourself and the hatred, the depression, the I don't like myself in any way you can. And you do this as a friend. You're not a friend who enables. Your other friend who is hurting, you get between them in any way you can, between them and self-hatred. And every 10 seconds, take a deep breath. And then another one. And then as you feel those feelings well up again, you get between yourself and it in any way you can, and you breathe. And maybe you can't hear right now how wonderful you are, how much somebody counts on you being in their life. The world needs you, your gifts, your talents, your energy. You are here for a reason. And that reason is not shame, guilt, worry, beat up, bullied. That's not the reason you're here. The reason is love. The reason is self-love. The reason is love and compassion. As I have been researching my new book, From Self-Hatred to Self-Love, I am very touched by the stories that people are sharing with me. They remind me of my own story. Because you see, these thoughts, these feelings, these beliefs, these emotions, they're not yours. I've said this before, I'll say it again, and I know there's a lot of you out there who won't believe me, because 30 years ago, I wouldn't have believed me. 10 years ago, not so sure. 10 years ago, I was probably on the fence, because I've been doing this for about 10 years now. And what I know, because I have worked with a lot of people all over this great big earth, and what I know is people are oh so much more precious. They are oh so much more valuable. They are oh so much cooler, amazing, unique, fascinating, fabulous than ever anyone could ever have imagined. You get between yourself and self-hatred, depression, anxiety, anger in any way you can. And the very best way of starting this is turn off the fucking TV. Turn it off. No news. Embrace yourself in comedies, things that make you laugh. Turn off the news. A lot of people are out there just to get people riled up, angered up, because that's what sells. Turn it off. Stop the influx of negativity in your life in every way you can. Turn it off. Watch Frasier, I Love Lucy, 30 Rock, Third Rock from the Sun, How I Met Your Mother, any kind of comedy that makes you laugh. The dumber, the better. Find a comedian that you like and listen to them and watch them. Stop paying attention to the crap around you, the people that are trying to get us all riled up about the world, about Trump, about hurricanes, about earthquakes, about everything. Get between yourself and all those negative messages in any way you can. And some may say, well, Lisa, that's not very, I like to be apprised of the news in the world and all that kind of stuff. Don't get drawn into it and sucked into it. Educate yourself, absolutely. Don't get drawn into the trauma. Be oh so loving with yourself. And I'm going to shout this to the world. I'm on a rant on this because what the world needs now is love, sweet love. And I can't remember what song that came from. Somebody can remind me. It came probably a Burt Bacharach song. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. And this is love for yourself. This is love for yourself. This is compassion for all those people that tried to fuck you over. Remember what I said? Yes, I said fuck. I'm going to say those words, especially when I'm all riled up about something. And we are on a mission because you make a difference. You are the difference, so make the difference. And right now, wherever you're sitting, whatever you're feeling, breathe. Just breathe. And maybe, I don't know how, maybe I can learn to find something to like about myself. Maybe, even though I don't know how, I'm curious and I feel so separate, so isolated, so disconnected, so depressed. Maybe I can learn to find something to like about myself. Maybe it's a picture that I saw, or a picture that I drew, or maybe it's a pair of shoes that I have. There's nothing that's too simplistic here. Get between yourself and the anxiety, the depression, the anger, the hatred in any way you can. If you sit there on Facebook and just watch videos of puppies and kittens and dogs and cats and elephants and all these things where animals are loving one another, or babies, and where babies are engaged with other animals, and there are pictures of videos of kids that are like because they know who you are, and they will remind you of who you are, because why it hurts so bad is because you know you are this and yet you feel like this, and that divide, that big huge divide, feels bigger than the Continental Divide, bigger than the Grand Canyon. You know who you are. And you're finding your way back to love. And even if you just say that, I don't know how to do it, I'm finding my way back to love. Even though I don't really know what's involved, I'm finding my way back to love. 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 Even if you have to say that every 10 seconds. Every 10 seconds. Finding your way back to love. So please, comments, questions, likes, hearts, all of this kind of stuff. We are delving in to the pit of the crap so that you can rise up as you were meant to. Like the glorious redwoods, like beautiful flowers, like the clouds in the sky. Rise you up as you were meant to be. So my name is Lisa. I'm so glad to see you out here tonight. And so till next time, tomorrow, I'll see you later. Bye-bye. The art of self-love, because you matter.